We'd like to welcome you to Las Vegas for the Mountain West Conference Tournament semifinals. First up, the 5-seed Nevada against top-seeded San Diego State. Along with former Villanova head coach Steve Lapis, I'm Andrew Catalan. A lot to catch you up on already in this one, as fouls have been a big storyline, and there's an offensive foul on Grant Sherfield. As you look at the updated bracket here, the winners advance to the championship game tomorrow on CBS. Now, Jordan Shackle for San Diego State, 8 early points. He's gone over 1,000 in his career, the 35th to do that in school history. And emotions running hot in this one already, just over 5 minutes in. We've already had double technicals assessed to Desmond Cambridge of Nevada and Joshua Tamajic of San Diego State. Aztecs lead it by 5.
And a big story also so far, Andrew, 6 turnovers by Nevada that San Diego State has scored 10 points of their 11. So that's a problem. Nevada's got to start to handle the ball better against this San Diego State team, or it's going to be a long, long night.
Cambridge had it poked away in the corner. Good defense by Trey Pulliam. Here's who's on the floor right now, and you don't see Trey Coleman for Nevada. He's picked up 2 early fouls, and you don't see Nathan Mensah for the Aztecs. He also got called for 2 early fouls. There's Steve Alford in his 2nd season at Nevada. They've committed 6 turnovers in the last 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, and that's one thing about, and they only average about 12.5 a game, but today this San Diego State defense really been tough in the half court.
8-0 run for San Diego State. Getting to the hoop and getting fouled is Lamont Butler, the impressive freshman from Moreno Valley, California.
Yeah, he's been very good, and what he does here is he makes like he's going to use that pick and roll on the left. He just gets rid of it and goes the other way, and Nevada does not react quickly enough when he doesn't use the pick and roll, and they foul. He's really quick with the ball. This kid's going to be a very good player. I can see him being, they always have stars in their system. I can see him being an up-and-coming star someday.
He's earned the nickname Downhill because it always seems like he's playing the game downhill. He plays with momentum. Fun player to watch, and Brian Dutcher and the Aztecs are happy to have him.
Well, you know what it is? He's a strong kid. I mean, he's 6'2", and he's got a heck of a build on him.
New ball. Have a new ball. New ball.
Good job by Cambridge to keep the possession alive here for the Wolfpack.
I mean, right now, San Diego State defense has done an unbelievable job on Cambridge and Sherfield. These guys score 47% of the points. They've taken almost half the shots on the team, and right now those kids really haven't gotten a good look.
Something sticky on the ball, so they got a new ball here with 13:39 to go.
Something sticky. I've heard balls being slippery. Yeah. I've never heard them being too sticky.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Shot clock's at 5. Kane Milling, the lefty, too strong, and Shackle the other way. Already 2 3-pointers in this game for Shackle. Seiko for 3. It's good. Adam Seiko from the outside.
Look, that's the difference in this San Diego State team. They make over 9 threes a game. One of the best, 39% from the 3-point line too. So besides the defense, they can shoot it.
Seiko picks up his 2nd foul, and that'll be a 1-and-1 for Nevada. The fouls piling up early here in the first half for the Aztecs. Brian Dutcher 8-2 against Nevada in his time as San Diego State head coach. Mountain West Coach of the Year last year and again this season.
I mean, he's got 3 subs in the game right now, relatively early. Keyshawn Johnson, Agueka Rope, it's good to see him out there. He's been struggling with that vertigo lately.
Yeah, Rope did not play yesterday in the win over Wyoming. He's just really hour to hour with vertigo. He's had good warm-ups in pregame and then not been able to go, and then the reverse sometimes happens. Terrible warm-ups and then he is able to go. It will all feel so bad for him, but it's good to see him out there.
That's a debilitating thing.
Mitchell, the Mountain West Player of the Year. Defended by Coleman with 2 fouls. Mitchell drives in, missed it. Washington had it, lost it, and out of bounds to San Diego State.
Matt Mitchell's struggling a little bit lately. He's probably, of his last 7 games, he probably has had 3 of his worst in the season. He's not shot it well from 3. He's been really struggling lately, the player of the year.
Yeah, his 3 lowest scoring games of the year have come in the last 7. Only 8 points against Wyoming in the quarterfinal win, but he was double teamed nearly every time he had the ball. Gomez from the outside.
1 field goal in that game. That was a heck of a shot by Gomez.
I like what Brian Dutcher said, though, about Mitchell being limited yesterday with only the 1 field goal. He said even though he was double teamed, didn't get a lot of shot opportunities, he didn't get frustrated and start taking bad shots.
He's a good player, knows how to play.
Another turnover by Nevada. That's their 8th.
Take a look at this execution on the out-of-bounds play. This is going to be a great screen in here on Grant Sherfield, and that's all the room that Terrell Gomez needs to get it off. He stepped into that shot knowing he was going to shoot it before he caught the ball.
Sherfield had to tie his shoe, and now he'll come out. It's a 14-2 run for San Diego State.
Yeah, I mean, this Nevada team, if Sherfield and Cambridge don't play well, they have a problem.
A rope inside, he traveled. Third meeting of the year between these 2 teams. The Aztecs swept the Wolfpack in San Diego in early January, but 2 very close games. First game, a 5-point San Diego State win, and the second one was when Trey Pulliam hit at the buzzer to win by 2. A timeout, and for those of you watching on CBSSports.com, our streaming coverage will conclude after the commercial break, but will continue right here on CBS Sports Network, the Mountain West Tournament semifinals. You are watching Bracket Week presented by Kubota. Back in Las Vegas, semifinal number 1 between San Diego State and Nevada. Coming up late night, we've got Utah State and Colorado State. And hi, everyone. Courtside with Steve Lapis. I'm Andrew Catalan. Thank you for joining us for the first semifinal. Strange start to this game for Nevada. They've only attempted 4 shots the whole game. They're 1 for 4. Their points have come at the free throw line, but they just haven't gotten in any rhythm offensively, Steve.
Well, that's what 9 turnovers will do for you in the first 8 minutes of this game. So this San Diego State defense right now is looking vintage. They're doing a great job on Sherfield and Cambridge. Those guys score 47 of the points for Nevada. So if San Diego State can lock those guys up, it's going to be a long night for the Wolfpack.
Almost 7 minutes without a field goal now for Nevada. We reset the foul situation. 5 on the Wolfpack, 8 for the Aztecs.
And Trey Coleman back in the game with those 2 fouls. As a freshman, that's always taking a little bit of a chance.
Washington inside, and there's the foul. That goes on a rope. And it will send Washington back to the free throw line.
You know, if you're San Diego State and your choice is Warren Washington take most of the shots as opposed to Cambridge and Sherfield, you're saying that's good for us. And right now, Warren Washington's really been the best part of the offense for the Wolfpack.
During that last timeout, we asked Randy McCall, one of the referees, to come over, and we said, why do you keep changing the balls out? We thought there was like a substance on it. We were talking about it a few minutes ago. He said, no, if the ball touches someone who's not a tier 1 member, like a player or a coach, they have to change the ball out and clean it. And as he ran away, he said, so if the ball comes to you guys, don't touch it. All right, now we know why. Rebound for Washington.
Yeah, I think it would help if when Nevada makes a stop, they go in transition a little bit, and that way you get a shot. Because this San Diego State team, when you're playing slow, they're so good at loading up and not letting you get anything in the paint. That was a good shot by Cambridge in transition.
Finally, a field goal for Nevada. The 3 by Cambridge, and the other way, Mitchell no good, looking for a foul. Johnson is fouled. The Nevada turnovers 9 here in the first half, and the Aztecs have taken advantage, Steve.
Yeah, 10 of their points off those turnovers, so that's really why Nevada's in the hole that they're in right now. There's a transition 2 by Terrell Gomez there, and just another turnover, and it's led to baskets, that's the worst part of it.
Johnson misses the first free throw, just a 51% free throw shooter. Substitutions for both teams. KJ Himes back on the floor for Nevada.
I mean, San Diego State averages 8 steals a game. They have 6 already.
And after making that free throw, Johnson heads out and Jordan Shackle returns. 100 years of San Diego State basketball, and Shackle earlier in this half becoming just the 35th player to hit 1,000. What a growth it's been for Shackle from his freshman season now in his senior year. Himes called for the foul. That is something you say a lot with KJ Himes. He has fouled out in 3 of the last 4 games, and for this season, he's fouled out 6 times. That's his second tonight.
And they're keeping him in the game.
Pulliam in the paint. And there is Foster for the board.
I like the idea of doubling Matt Mitchell when he's in the low post, because he's a very good low post player.
Here's Himes with the 2 fouls. Nice moves down low for KJ Himes. Nevada lost a big piece of its rebounding rotation with Zane Meeks, suffering from knee tendonitis. He has not played since early February. They still list him as day-to-day, but Meeks not expected to play tonight. 6 rebounds per game. That's a big piece they missed.
That's a big piece, and they're not a great rebounding team, so that is something that they are definitely missing.
Pulliam's bucket makes it a 6-point Aztecs advantage.
Sherfield can't even get a shot off.
And Pulliam commits the foul. Sherfield is 0 for 1 so far tonight. Jersey Mike's is the proud title sponsor of the Naismith Player of the Year Award. Join us when we announce the winner on April 3rd, right here on CBS Sports Network.
And Sherfield in the 2 San Diego State games had 22 and 20. So, I mean, he has played well against them, but tonight struggling to get a good look.
He initially committed to Steve Alford at UCLA, and then when Alford was let go, Sherfield went to Wichita for a year and then reunited with Alford here at Nevada.
And he played a lot at Wichita. He averaged 8 points a game as a freshman.
And he's exploded this year, second in the Mountain West, averaging better than 18 points per game.
But you know one thing about this team, when he scores 17 or more, good rebound there. When he scores 17 or more, they're 13 and 3. Less than 17, not so good.
3 and 6. Mitchell defending Himes, and Himes doesn't get the roll.
They've been working hard at trying to take advantage of those big, small switches. That time in the low post with Mitchell on.
Inside 9 minutes to go in the first half. Gomez attacking, no. Put back by Tomajic, won't go either. Sherfield end to end, and he missed it. Foster tips it out. Sherfield has it again. He'll quickly shoot and misses another. Wow. Tough start for Sherfield. He's 0 for 3. Mitchell, deep 3. It's been 20-16 for a while.
Long time.
Sherfield, and a late whistle and a foul. And some frustration by Grant Sherfield, who went for 26 yesterday against Boise State. He has not been able to get it going so far tonight, but he will have a chance at the free throw line.
Yeah, him and Cambridge, 57 between them last night.
It was the 4th game this season that both Cambridge and Sherfield each had at least 20 points. They have accounted in Mountain West play for 47% of Nevada's points.
They take almost half the shots. In this game so far, I think Steve Alford has done a good job of trying to take advantage of these switches. San Diego State likes to switch everything. So they've had they've gone inside when a small guy's been on one of the bigs. Grant Sherfield has tried to take him when one of the big guys was guarding him. So really looking to take advantage of the switching of San Diego State.
You see that note there yesterday, 51 points at the half against Boise State. That was a season high, but only 18 so far this evening.
Trey Pulliam that time, another drive to the basket. That's 2 for him.
It had been a 10-3 run for Nevada until that Pulliam bucket. Gomez, that's a 2. It's good. 7 points in the first half for Terrell Gomez.
Got a lot of weapons, this team. I mean, here's a game where Matt Mitchell isn't doing anything. He only has 1 point, and they got a 6-point lead.
Sherfield, wow, close.
No, he hasn't been close.
Mountain West newcomer of the year, Grant Sherfield. Mitchell again from the strip, and it won't go.
And he hasn't been close either.
Mitchell's 0 for 5 tonight. Cambridge trying to use the glass, and he does.
Good move there by Cambridge, looking to drive it.
2 years at Brown, and in December of 2018, Brown went to Viejas Arena. Cambridge had 25 points, 7 threes that night, and Brown knocked out San Diego State.
Yeah, I guess he likes to see the Aztecs.
Sherfield directing traffic. And the shot clock at 10. Cambridge at 2. Halfway down and out, Pulliam is right there. San Diego State riding a 12-game win streak. They have not lost since mid-January at Utah State. Pulliam again. Good start to this half for Pulliam. He's got 6 points, 2 assists, and 2 steals.
He's very good with that floater in the lane. I don't know, Sherfield looks a little tired to me.
I agree. I was thinking the same thing.
He just doesn't look like he's got a lot of pep to him.
But he's able to locate Washington for the jam.
Even the way he's running back on defense, it just seems to be laboring a little bit to me. I mean, this kid's put in big minutes all season long.
He just waved to the Nevada bench and gave them a thumbs up. Maybe they were saying, do you need a blow? And he said, no, I don't want to come out.
You know, 35 minutes a game, and now you're in March.
Mitchell is fouled. That's going to go on Kane Milling. It takes us to a timeout. 4:58 to go in the first half. Mountain West semifinal number 1. You're watching Bracket Week, presented by Kubota. We're back with a look at Jordan Shackle so far tonight, going over 1,000 points for his career. This year's teams in the tournament are now using the Shot Tracker app on an iPad Pro during games for real-time analytics like shot charts, points per possession, to help optimize their lineups and play calling. And before the game, our cameras We caught Steve Lapis checking it out on the iPad Pro. Usually I see you picking your seat for your flight, but you were actually working before the game. Good for you.
I tell you what, I love this stuff. It wasn't around when I was coaching. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, but I feel like I was in the dark ages compared to what's going on now. But I would have loved that stuff. I was always been a big stat guy, but we used to have to figure those things out on our own. How many passes per possession that you scored with. I mean, just things that we did. Now it's a lot easier.
You know, you've told me one of the things that you've changed so much in your thinking now that you're on the broadcast side is fouling when you're up 3. I wonder how much analytics played into your thought process changing.
You know what? It wasn't really analytics as much as watching all these games and seeing people tie games up when they were down 3 with 3 seconds to go. So no analytics involved there, just kind of like, and I never did it. When I coached, I never fouled in that situation. I always felt like the easiest thing to guard was a 3-point shot that you know is coming. But you know what? Today, I would foul every time. Under 5 seconds.
Mitchell gets it done at the line. We've had a combined 19 fouls in this first half. And a 6-point Aztecs lead. They are trying to get to the Mountain West Tournament Final for the 4th consecutive year. They won it in 2018 and lost to Utah State in the final each of the last 2 seasons. In the corner, and how about it? Alum Hasanovic with the 3, just his 7th 3 of the year.
He was playing a lot more earlier in the season. Lately, not playing so much, but that's a real bonus.
Big shot off the bench, and an offensive foul is called on a rope on the other end.
I mean, this kid didn't even see the court last night.
He's appeared in 20 games this season. Competed at Phoenix Prep in his freshman year at Nevada. And a spark off the bench.
See, they created the switch there again. And they go right into Washington because he had a guard on him.
Lamont Butler commits that foul.
And here they just fake the pick and roll. A rope ends up switching. Butler's on Warren Washington. And they go right to him. I'm telling you, every play Steve Alford has gone after the mismatch.
Well, Paramount Plus is here. Live sports, breaking news, and a mountain of entertainment. Paramount Plus, try it for free. Washington makes them both. He's got 9 points here in the first half. And it's a 1-point game. You see Nevada, 12 of their 27 have come from the free throw line.
And you know, not having Mensah in the game, that second foul on Mensah has hurt them because he's one of the best defenders in the Mountain West. Second inch block shots. Not having him out there is big.
Hasanovic commits the foul. And it'll be a 1-and-1 for Lamont Butler. 14th straight year that San Diego State is in the Mountain West semifinals. That is just an amazing note. Year in, year out, they have become the premier program here in the Mountain West.
It is amazing, and I think if they make it to the finals, it'll be the 14th final they've been in also.
They've won at a tournament record 5 times, and they've appeared in the championship game in 10 of the last 12 seasons. And we know one man who helped create this San Diego State dynasty, if you will, is watching us right now. We say hi to longtime coach Steve Fisher.
And probably watching with his son Mark and his grandson Max.
Right. Timeout with 3:55 to go in the first half. Nevada is creeping closer. They're within 3 on CBS Sports Network.
Big fella jamming in there. Oh my goodness. Can you
Here we go. Selection Sunday inching closer.
It's this Sunday.
6 Eastern on CBS. First 4 starts on Thursday, March 18th, right through the national championship game from Indianapolis on Monday, April 5th on CBS. Now, according to our Jerry Palm, here's what he's got for the Mountain West. He's got the Aztecs as a 9 seed, Colorado State, who we'll see later tonight, as an 11 seed. He's got Boise State and Utah State first 4 out. What do you think, Steve Lapis?
Boy, I'll tell you what, that game later on tonight's a huge game with Colorado State and Utah State. And one thing, if Colorado State wins that game, they're in great shape. But if Nevada wins this game, then they're going to have to win, because if you lose to Nevada, who's number 95 in the net, that would be considered a bad loss. So in a lot of ways, all these teams, they'd like to see San Diego State win this game so that at least it's not a bad loss if they make it to the final and lose.
Good point. Washington is fouled again.
Well, here we go again. I'm telling you, every time. That time Butler switched to Warren Washington. They throw it inside. And look at this Nevada team. They've already taken 15 free throws in this game. Now, one thing about Nevada, that is not a fluke. They're number 19 in the nation in made free throws per game. This is a team that relies on getting to the foul line. And they're doing it tonight.
The foul was on a rope. That's his 3rd. He comes out, and Tomajic comes back in. He's got 2 fouls. Fouling has been an issue here in the first half for the Aztecs.
You know, when you get 22% of your points from free throws, that's amongst the top 30 in the nation in terms of relying on that.
Butler. Tomajic nowhere to go with the shot clock at 10. Now he's going to try to drive in on Washington. Bad pass out of bounds and a turnover. Coming up on AT&T 5G at the half, Adam Zucker and the gang are back in New York. They'll get you caught up on everything in the college basketball world, plus highlights, stats, and analysis, all coming up on AT&T 5G at the half. Washington off the feed from Cambridge.
And you know, you saw Cambridge give him a look. When he was coming down, he gave Washington a look like, I'm throwing this thing up in the air.
Washington has a dozen in the first half. We are tied at 30. Butler puts the Aztecs right back on top. Counted in 1 for Lamont Butler.
Well, you take a look here, Cambridge, he gives Washington a look, and he just beats Tomajic on the baseline. Tomajic turned his head and was looking at the ball and didn't realize Washington was sneaking behind him. There's a classic example of you have to see your man and the ball at all times.
And Steve Alford once again has to go deep into his bench as Washington picks up his 2nd foul, so he comes out. And DeAndre Henry, who did not play yesterday against Boise State, has come on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing guys today that haven't seen a lot of the floor lately.
Trying to weather the storm before the half. Sherfield's been very quiet. Can he get going here? Fadeaway jumper, and still not his night so far, and a lot of contact inside, and a foul. Wow, they called on San Diego State. The entire Aztecs bench thought this was going to go on Nevada.
Wow.
Instead, it's called on Keyshawn Johnson.
I thought Henry had his arms. Well,
yeah,
I think it's a good call.
I do too. Based on what I'm hearing with no fans in the arena, Brian Dutcher does not agree with us.
Doesn't agree. I think if he sees it, he'll see that it was a good call.
Here's Daniel Foster at the free throw line. He missed the first 15 games of the season with a left shoulder injury he suffered in the preseason. So he did not make his collegiate debut until late January. And Steve Alford has put him in the starting lineup. He's a taller guard. He plays good defense, and Coach Alford has liked what the freshman Foster has been able to deliver. And before the shot, foul on the floor against the aforementioned Foster.
I mean, Andrew, 19 free throws for Nevada already. Could have been a charge. He's moving. It's a good call. Moved into him. Tell you, those are tough calls. Block charge, really tough.
We've had 26 fouls in the first half.
And you know, that's the kind of game Nevada plays. Nevada, not only, as I said, is one of the top teams in the country at getting to the free throw line, they're one of the top teams in the country in letting their opponents get to the free throw line too. So they do both. Their games are relatively ugly when it comes to fouling. They get fouled and they foul.
Henry turnaround, way off the mark. Offensive rebound by Foster. Cambridge corner three. And Mitchell is there for the rebound.
Yeah, Cambridge and Sherfield really have not gotten good looks.
Mitchell explodes and lays it in. And Steve Halford calls timeout. With 1:52 to go in the first half, the Aztecs have opened up a 5-point lead. Matt Mitchell to the hoop for two on CBS Sports Network. Tomorrow, CBS Sports Network brings you the 2021 Air Force Reserve CUSA Championship game as Western Kentucky battles North Texas. That's at 9 Eastern, with the winner advancing to the NCAA tournament.
Western Kentucky's got a big guy named Charles Bassey that is as good a big guy as you're going to find anywhere.
Look forward to that one tomorrow night. And we have a whistle. And we have a wet spot on the floor. Well, since 2008, San Diego State has 36 wins on this floor at the Thomas and Mack Center. Most of any school in the country at a venue where they don't play their home games. Next on that list is Villanova. They've won 30 games at Madison Square Garden. But between the tournament here and playing against UNLV, San Diego State, this has been a home away from home.
There's no doubt about it. But, you know, I wouldn't have guessed Villanova. I would have guessed your man Boeheim would have had the Garden. At the Garden. The Syracuse been there a lot too, but now obviously in the last few years, not as much being in the ACC.
A bad pass by Kane Milling and a turnover. Gomez running the break. Look at him fly up the floor, and he's blocked from behind. But then on the putback, there's a foul.
I mean, Nevada hung in here this whole half. Then Warren Washington picks up that second foul. And now all of a sudden in the half-court offense, there really is nothing going on.
Foul was called on Desmond Cambridge, and now he has two. Usually we put a graphic up of foul trouble. It might be easier to put on that graphic people who don't have two or more fouls. Cambridge goes out with 1:20 to play. Cambridge has 7 points in the first half, and Sherfield has 6. And they're going to need more from those two in the second half if they're going to win this game.
No doubt about it.
Nevada only has 2 starters on the floor right now, Foster and Sherfield.
And the bench has not been one of their strengths this year.
Sherfield for 3. Short.
Everything short by him.
He gets the ball back, though, after an offensive rebound by Foster. Milling for 3. And Shackle is right there for the rebound. 10-second difference between the game clock and shot clock. Mitchell, corner 3. Won't go. And the rebound goes out of bounds. Clock stop with 26.5. And Nevada can hold for the final shot.
Boy, Mitchell is not playing well, but this is a good box out right here by Grant Sherfield on Tomajic.
So yesterday against Boise State in the quarterfinals, Nevada had 51 at the half. been held in check by this San Diego State defense so far with 32 points and 10 seconds to play.
Well, Cambridge and Sherfield yesterday were on fire in the first half. Good help. They traveled.
12 first half turnovers for Nevada, and that's the third committed by Sherfield.
And they got plenty of time to get something decent here.
It'll be Mitchell to inbound. 4.4 to go.
They threw it in the backcourt. That's not really where you want them to throw the ball, but they're still going to get decent.
Butler doesn't get off. No, he did not get it off in time. Does not go anyway. That takes us to intermission here in Las Vegas. San Diego State 37, Nevada 32. That's the end of the first half. After the break, we'll send you back to our New York studio for AT&T 5G at the half. You're watching Bracket Week, presented by Kubota.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Kubota. Together we do more. By AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. And by Gorilla. For the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
Back in Las Vegas, a Friday night, you're watching the Mountain West Conference semifinals. At the half, San Diego State has a 5-point lead. Nevada getting to the free throw line 19 times. The Aztecs were there 15 times. As we welcome you back courtside with Steve Lapis, I'm Andrew Catalan. Sherfield and Cambridge, a combined 2 for 11 in the first half. What is San Diego State doing defensively to hold those two down?
Well, they've been an elite defensive team all year. They help each other so well, and this is what they built this program on. But they're also, tonight, 7 steals in the first half. They average 8 steals a game. They have 7 already and 10 points off those steals. So very aggressive defensively tonight, San Diego State, in going after the ball. And you're going to see right here in this clip, they put pressure on the ball to start out with, and look at the job they're doing in the low post. You got Matt Mitchell there fronting in the low post, making it very, very difficult for them to get the ball inside. So here we're going to see it right here. And then they come over and they converge very quickly to help on that. And that's how they've been so aggressive with the steals.
San Diego State is 20-2 this season when leading at the half. And you see with Shot Tracker, 1.42 points per possession when they're in transition. That has been working for them tonight. Winner advances to the championship game tomorrow on CBS against the winner of our nightcap. A big one, not only in the Mountain West, but around the country on the bubble as Utah State takes on Colorado State. But we got a half to go here, maybe more. Nevada with the ball down by 5. Foster spinning inside, tied up. Good defense by the Aztecs. Out of bounds to San Diego State.
I think the big key for Nevada at halftime was to figure out a way to get those guards a little bit more involved. And, you know, Steve Alford, as we talked about in the first half, did a good job of attacking inside when one of the small guys switched to his bigs, Warren Washington in particular. But they got to get the guards going.
3 times this year, Nevada has come back to win when they trailed at the half, including last week in the regular season finale, that dramatic victory against Colorado State. Shackle's 3 won't go. Mensah back in there, could not get the rebound.
And, you know, Mensah had 2 very good games against Nevada in the 2 wins that they had, so they got to get him going a little bit too.
He had 15 points in the second game against the Wolfpack. That's the one the Aztecs won at the buzzer. Shackle, oh, how do they lose him?
That's a layup.
Cannot leave him alone, and for Shackle, that's his 3rd 3 of the game. Dating back to late in the first half, it's a 7-0 run for San Diego State. from Cambridge.
He can do that now, and he'll make tough ones.
He's in double figures with 10. He had 31 against Boise State yesterday. That's the most he scored in a Nevada uniform. He did have a 35-point game with Brown. Pulliam, and that shot altered from behind. Mitchell flies in for the loose ball. And now Gomez will set it up. And there's a foul by Sherfield.
Take a look at Grant Sherfield here and look at his knees in particular. Right here, he's standing upright. When you're standing upright, you're weak. That's not even that strong a screen. Shackle gets to the corner there. Sherfield late because he was not in a defensive stance. You got to be in a defensive stance and be ready so that if that screen comes, boom, you're ready to get around it and get to the corner.
Something's not right with Sherfield tonight. He's 0 for 7. He's turned it over 3 times. We're not used to seeing that out of him this year. Mitchell from the outside.
It's a good shot for him because he's been struggling, but you're 100% right, Andrew. Sherfield just seems like he's been gassed this entire game.
43-35. Good start to the second half for San Diego State.
I mean, except for Warren Washington and Cambridge a little bit, offensively, it's been a struggle.
Cambridge again, that one won't go. Foster again tracks down the long rebound. Back out to Cambridge, comes up short.
A lot of short shots tonight. Right to the post.
Mitchell gets it to go.
He's so good in that situation. They run in transition. He runs right to the box and makes himself big in the low post for that basket.
And Steve Alford calls timeout. This is the largest lead of the night for the Aztecs. Up by 10 on Nevada. You are watching Bracket Week, presented by Kubota. 16:58 to go, second half in Vegas. Aztecs lead by 10. Jordan Shackle leading the way. He's got 11 points, Steve.
And you know what you got to love about him is he's improved every year at San Diego State from his freshman year. And that's something you see in that program, and you've seen in that program forever. They get guys, and they get better and better, and they develop and become stars. And then also you sprinkle in a couple of transfers along the way, and look what you have.
So we've got this incredible shot tracker statistics tonight, but let's go old school with what Shackle did during the pandemic. Great story in the San Diego Union Tribune. During the pandemic, no gym, basketball courts were closed. His uncle had old P90X and Beachbody workout tapes. They had to find a VHS player and a DVD player so that Shackle could stay in shape. He said the workouts were so hard that playing 40 minutes seemed easy after doing these old Beachbody workout videos.
Well, that's a kid that just wants to get better. That's important.
Made the most of the time away. Mitchell trying to feed Mensah on a foul inside on Foster.
I mean, Andrew, you take a look. You tell me, how many open looks have those perimeter guys gotten for Nevada tonight? Boy, not many at all. Those last shots by Cambridge, they were tough. They were under duress. Oh, wide open.
Oh! Mitchell is fouled.
Great screen on that out-of-bounds play and terrific execution. You know, it always drives you nuts when you're a coach, though, for a team to get an easy look like this on an out-of-bounds play. You know, you walk through all these things, but kids make mistakes sometimes. That was also, but that was good execution.
Foul was on Coleman. That's his third. Steve Alford having a long chat with Grant Sherfield, trying to get him going. If Nevada is able to win the Mountain West tournament and go on to the NCAA tournament, Alford would be just the third coach to take 5 different schools to the NCAA tournament, along with Lon Kruger and Tubby Smith.
That says 2 things. You're a heck of a coach, but you know how to move around a little bit too.
There's Sherfield, and finally, he has his first field goal of the night.
I think it was C.M. Newton said years ago, you got to stay one step ahead of the posse.
30th year as a head coach for Steve Alford. Mitchell's going to take another deep one, and he nicks it again. He's looking for the foul. He wanted a 4-point play, arguing with the official Eric Curry. Sherfield, can he make it back-to-back? Yes, he can.
You always got to be wary of this kid because he can carry a team the way he plays. He's got the ball in his hands all the time. He's great off the dribble. Maybe he found a little bounce in his step now.
Pulliam. Nevada's got a little hop in their step right now, coming the other way, down by 8. Sherfield has made back-to-back buckets.
He changes speed so well.
Locates Foster, and goaltending called on Mensah.
Yeah, that was unnecessary by Mensah. I don't think that ball had a chance to go in.
How about this music, lad? It's like Ferris Bueller at the parade. Aztecs by 6.
Picture show, second balcony.
San Diego State, the 1 seed at the Mountain West Conference Tournament, hoping to not see their name up on this list. It's been a wild conference tournament season already with so many 1 seeds eliminated. Of course, at the bottom, you also had Virginia knocked out of the ACC tournament after a positive COVID test. But you're seeing some crazy seeds meet in the championship games.
Let me tell you something. Mid-major 1 seed is a tough place to be going into these conference tournaments where you have to win. At least for Baylor and Villanova, they know they're in. They won the regular season, they lost. But boy, to be a number 1 seed, like San Diego State, obviously they want to win. If they don't win, they're going anyway. So they're in good shape. But 1 seeds in mid-majors where you got to win it, tough 3 days.
One of the teams on that list was Siena out of the Mack conference. In the Mack, Iona will play in the championship game, so Rick Pitino has a chance to go back to the NCAA tournament.
And they've played like 9 games this year or something. One of the lowest in the country.
A little bit of momentum here for Nevada. But Mitchell is at the free throw line trying to stem the tide. He's got 8 points this half and 13 for the game.
But how about he misses 3? Well, I was going to say that was almost 3 in a row. But I mean, this guy's a tremendous free throw shooter.
He was 6 for 6 yesterday in the win over Wyoming. Neither team led in that game by more than 4 points. That was back and forth all game long. And Brian Dutcher said afterwards he liked the mental toughness his team showed when Wyoming gave them all they could handle.
They had trouble guarding Wyoming from the three-point line. Wyoming missed their last threes. They were 12 for 22 from the three-point line at one point yesterday.
Cambridge, tough shot.
Not getting any easy looks in the half court.
Here comes Butler. They call him downhill, and there you see why. Whoa. He is, oh, no foul, just out of bounds.
There was a lot there, but let's see. That's got to be something.
I think.
That's a foul. That is a foul. I was going to say, boy, a lot of contact there, but oh, who knows? Let me look at it. Well, I looked at it. It's a foul.
Oh. And a foul called inside.
Matt Mitchell.
Mitchell doesn't like that one. His second foul.
Randy McCall came out of there like he was very, very sure about that one.
Mitchell, the 5th Aztec to win the Mountain West Player of the Year award. They also had the Player of the Year last year in Malachi Flynn.
one thing I've learned over the years coaching, it goes hand in hand. Good teams, good players.
You don't need the shot tracker to figure that out.
No, that you don't need.
Look at our bracket with the championship game set for tomorrow at 6 Eastern on CBS.
What did Bobby Knight say years ago? He said, good coaches win with good players. He says, nobody wins with bad players.
Cambridge. Mitchell's going to take another three. And hit.
Boy, he was struggling from the three-point line coming in here.
18 for Matt Mitchell.
He was 3 for his last 16 coming into this game.
Sherfield trying to answer, and he does. So Sherfield starting to heat up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know what he found at halftime.
Mensah hops off the bench. He'll check in next whistle for San Diego State.
This is very similar. This is very similar to me to the game, the second game of their two-game series where San Diego State won at the buzzer. Nevada was kind of just hanging around all game. Down 6, down 8, down 6, down 8. Then they made a run, tied the game up. It's a great shot there. And then Trey Pulliam won it at the buzzer. But very similar to that game. It looked like they didn't have enough, and all of a sudden, boom, they had a chance to win.
Mensah back on the floor for Brian Dutcher. Mitchell spins and thought his man was there, but he threw it right to Sherfield.
Yeah, he thought Mensah was going to come down the lane. Tough shot there.
Long rebound and taken away by Butler. Up ahead to Mitchell, and Mitchell lays it in. He's got 20. Sixth time this season, Mitchell has scored at least 20 points in a game. And 3 of the 6 times have come against Nevada. Robinson sets the screen for Sherfield. Shot clock at 6. Mensah's on Sherfield. Sherfield, tough shot. Yeah, the Shackle's there, but he lost it.
Mensah does a very good job of staying with point guards.
It will be Nevada basketball when we come back. Wolfpack, the 5 seed, trying to knock off the top-seeded Aztecs. Nevada down by 10. You're watching Bracket Week presented by Kubota. Steve Alford has good memories in the Mountain West tournament when he was with the Lobos back in 2012. Drew Gordon led New Mexico to a win over San Diego State. Following year, they repeated as champs, a 63-56 victory over UNLV. Alford would leave, and then the next year, the man you just saw, Craig Neal, affectionately known as Noodles, would take over and win the 3rd straight for New Mexico. And you gotta love this, with COVID protocols, everyone has their assigned seat on the bench, and it doesn't say Craig Neal, it just says Noodles.
And it's funny because you have Coach Alford, so it's kind of prim and proper. You have Coach Alford,
Noodles,
and then Noodles right next to him. But how many times you have a staff that's won this tournament, assistant and head coach, both?
Now, how does that work? Does the director of basketball operations tell the conference, here's our name tag list, I want Noodles?
Yeah, I guess it must be. When they submitted their list,
yeah,
they didn't
just
say
Noodles.
Craig, they said put Noodles.
It's like McLovin. Noodles.
Come on, you saw that. Come on.
Mensah commits that foul for San Diego State. That's his 3rd.
Cambridge should have made the and 1 there. You know, you got to give San Diego State credit. You know, there's a reason why those 2 guys are 6 for 22 between them, Cambridge and Sherfield.
Well, you made a good point, Steve. You know, the way this game has gone, you'd think San Diego State would be up by more right now. Nevada's still just hanging around. They're doing just enough.
Just enough where with 4 minutes to go, you make a couple of threes, and all of a sudden you got yourself a 2-point, 1-point game.
Butler spins in the paint, lost it going up out of bounds. It'll stay with the Aztecs. Butler coming right at you here.
Yeah, I mean, I like him. Talented kid. Got to get a little better feel for the game, but he's got talent.
Shackle, tough shot goes for Jordan Shackle. He's got 13.
That's something that he couldn't do last year. Take it to the basket like that and finish.
The lead back up to 10 for the Aztecs. Trying to make it 13 consecutive victories. Sherfield is blocked by Mensah. Gomez can change direction so quickly. Shackle feeds Mensah, defended by Himes. Mensah draws the double, gets rid of it. Butler, straightaway three is good. Just the 9th three of the year for Lamont Butler, and he gives San Diego State its largest lead of the game.
And a good pass out of the post by Mensah.
Tough pass. Himes able to catch it, but he missed it. Now, Himes did the toughest thing, which was catching that pass, but then he couldn't lay it in.
Nathan Mensah here giving some good help. Second in the Mountain West in block shots. Then he kicks it out of the post. And Lamont Butler knocks him.
Mensah picks up his 4th foul, so he comes out again.
Yeah, he has not been able to stay on the floor. No points in this game.
Keyshaw Johnson called for the foul. 5 fouls on each team this half. Cambridge will shoot that. Oh, spins around and out.
But you know, that ball was halfway down, but that was not an easy shot.
Mitchell cuts, spins, back out Pulliam. Extra pass Gomez. Now he'll launch.
I think he should have shot it as soon as he caught it.
Sherfield spins in the paint with the left hand off the glass, and he's hurt. Oh no, he's grabbing his left ankle. He's trying to shake it off.
Big time finish there.
Went down in pain and trying to fight through it.
He's so good at changing speeds because he's not the greatest athlete in the world, but boy, he's so crafty with the ball.
16 points for Sherfield, but it's taken him 13 shots to get there. Mitchell. You know, Steve, Warren Washington had a good start to this game, but he's been kind of quiet since.
Yeah, you know, he got a couple of fouls, went out of the game, and really hasn't been the same.
He just knocked Pulliam over. No call. Sherfield extra pass to Coleman. Washington again defended by Pulliam, and Johnson comes over.
You got to give San Diego State credit because they moved that ball around the perimeter twice that time, Nevada, and they were able to close out and be on guys every time.
Shot clock at 12. Here's Washington with the flush. 14 for Washington. But that's his first bucket of the second half. Pulliam sees an opening. Washington looking for someone to pass to. Locates Cambridge. He lost it going up, and here comes Gomez.
Rough night for Cambridge.
Gomez had his pocket picked. Up ahead, Washington. Another jam. (62-53). Inside 8 minutes to go. Winner advances to the Mountain West Tournament Final tomorrow. Pulliam again, too easy.
I mean, that was weak defense. Warren Washington switched to Pulliam that time and really gave absolutely no resistance.
Pulliam's got 10 in double figures for just the 6th time this year. Cambridge trying to work Johnson, and he does.
Tough shot, he made it.
Cambridge's dad, Desmond Sr., played at Alabama A&M. Cambridge first 2 years at Brown. He was the Ivy League Rookie of the Year in his first season. Pulliam had it stripped away and a turnover. Milling trying to race ahead. And a foul is committed by Pulliam. Takes us to a timeout with 7:02 to go. Wolfpack trying to hang around. Aztecs up 64-55. Put the coffee on, Lap. We got a big one coming up. 12:15 Eastern time tonight, approximately. Utah State, Colorado State. Winners will advance to the championship tomorrow on CBS. Kevin Harlan and Dan Bonner will call that at 6 Eastern time. 64-55 is our score. What does Nevada need to do to get going here, Steve?
Well, they got to get some stops because, you know, San Diego State has been playing well offensively here in the second half. Got to get some stops. And then obviously, you know, maybe even push the ball a little bit to get some easier looks in transition for Cambridge and Sherfield.
Officials are discussing that last play. We just showed you on replay. We'll show it to you again.
I don't.
Yeah. Oh, maybe a rope there at the end with a little push, little shove. We did have double technicals in the first half.
And that would not be a flagrant. That would be a dead ball technical because the whistle had blown already when Milling was going to the basket. So this could be a dead ball technical, which would allow anybody on Nevada to shoot the free throws for starters.
Tough call here.
Yeah.
It's been called tight the entire game. It looks like Eric Curry is going to come over and share the info with us.
The foul was called. All right, now we have a dead ball contact technical foul on 33 in the white. Extends his arm into the chest of an airborne player. Dangerous. So we're gonna go a flag one or dead ball contact 2 shots, and then Nevada will have the ball on the side with 20 seconds on the shot clock. Okay.
All right, so they did call it on a rope, technical foul.
Yeah, it's a dead ball technical. If play had been going on, it would have been a flagrant. But it's not a flagrant. The ball was dead, so it's a dead ball technical. And the difference there is if it's a flagrant, the kid who gets fouled has to shoot it. Now they can pick anybody they want to shoot the free throws.
Cambridge is their best free throw shooter, 88% on the season. And that's the last thing you need if you're San Diego State. You're trying to pull away here, and now you're giving them a little bit of breathing room. Cambridge is on the bench, so it won't be him. Looks like Sherfield, who's 86%, will take the free throws. First half, Sherfield was 0 for 6 from the floor. Here in the second half, he's 4 for 7. Third technical foul called in this game.
And he's favoring that ankle a little bit before this. He went to the foul line. He was kind of like bending it, hobbling on it a little bit. You can see him now what he's doing. So he's not 100%. I don't know what they're asking. I think he's trying to make a substitution. I don't know what happened there. I know Eric Curry said to Matt Mitchell, you told him wrong information. Yeah. I don't know what information he was telling him.
Milling will launch. Oh, nowhere close, but a long rebound out to Sherfield. Washington inside, took a bump, and he's fouled. Tomajic whistled for that. That's his third. And right back at the free throw line goes the Wolfpack. This is Washington.
It's amazing. They average 16 made free throws a game, and they get to the foul line a lot.
They've got 20 tonight. 20 for 24 from the line.
But look how they hang in there. I mean, you look at the scoreboard, and if I didn't know, I would have said that down 12. It's down 6.
So they lost 7 times in conference play this year. Only one of those 7 losses was by more than 7 points.
They have a knack of hanging in there.
Cambridge at the scorer's table. He's going to come in next whistle. 6:20 to go.
This is a big defensive set here.
2-possession game. Pulliam inside, scoop shot, counted and one. Trey Pulliam.
You know, if you're going to close out on Trey Pulliam, you got to close out on him thinking drive. He's not a three-point shooter. That time Warren Washington ran out really hard and he went right by him. He has not done a good job when he's had to switch on a guard in containing that guard.
Pulliam has a dozen. He's in double figures for the 4th time in the last 7 games. He was in double figures 3 times in the previous 51 games. And it's just going his way.
How about that? Almost hit the shot clock.
13 for Pulliam.
That ankle looks pretty good to me.
And a foul. And now Sherfield goes down, and he's in pain again. Another look at this one. Ran right into Matt Mitchell. That's what it looks like when you run into a 6'6", 235-pound Matt Mitchell.
Yes.
The foul was called on Tomajic, and that's his 4th. So Mensah, Tomajic, and Arope all have 4 fouls. More confusion. Brian Dutcher thought somebody said 1 and 1. That's why Mitchell aggressively went for the rebound.
Well, it was on a pass.
Yeah.
It should have been 1 and 1.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Mitchell. And Washington grabs it. 5.5 to go. Do the Wolfpack have a run in them?
Well, if they do, it's going to be because of 25 and 4.
Washington around Tomajic. Tobias with the 4 fouls, and Washington took advantage.
Well, this guy's gotten better and better, I'll tell you that, than when I saw him earlier in the year.
Washington has a new career high, 19 points. See the foul trouble for the Aztecs. They lead it by 7.
And 18 last night.
Gomez surveying the scene. Defended by Sherfield. Gomez, deep 3.
Tough
Won't
shot.
go, and Cambridge is there.
You know, he's small, so, you know, getting those shots in the half court, those threes are not easy.
Coleman left alone. He's wide open. Shackle is there. Coleman just a 31% three-point shooter.
Not going to get a more open shot than that.
Nevada had 9 threes yesterday against Boise State, only 5 tonight, and Sherfield bites on the fake and commits the foul. Third foul on the sophomore from Fort Worth, Texas. Mensah is going to come back in with 4 fouls.
It's really rare that San Diego State gets nothing from Mensah and Tobias on the same night.
Gomez led the country in free throw shooting last year, 94%. But a strange stat for him this year, this is just the 17th time he's been to the free throw line. Last year he went to the line 115 times, and the year before 122.
You know what that says, Andrew? I mean, Cal Northridge, I mean, good team, whatever, but they're playing at a different level.
Yeah.
This is a higher level, harder for a guy this size to get fouled, going to the rim. It's just different. He's had a good year, no doubt about it. He's really helped his program. But he averaged 19 a game over there at Cal Northridge.
Adam Seiko is one of the better defenders that Brian Dutcher can go to off the bench, and he checks in. Cambridge thinking hoop all the way, and offensive foul.
Yeah, I thought that was a block.
Steve Alford not happy, shaking his head.
No, that's charge. Almost avoided him.
Shackle from the baseline, and he knocks it down.
And this guy, he makes you think like every time he shoots it, like you feel like it's going in.
15 and 8 rebounds for Shackle. And there's a foul on the shot by Cambridge. Seiko commits the foul. And we've got our final media timeout with 3:38 to go. Aztecs trying to march on to the final for the 4th consecutive year. Let's see who is the toughest on the court. Brought to you by Gorilla Glue. Matt Mitchell, big game again against Nevada. 3rd time this year he's gone for 20 points or more against the Pack.
Well, you know, he started out slow in this game, but he's really picked it up. He's found his three-point stroke. Just a really tough kid. Player of the year in the conference. He's had an unbelievable career. Gotten another guy who's gotten better and better every year.
Last 7 games, he had 3 three-pointers, and tonight he's gone for 3 threes. Steve, you've seen San Diego State a bunch this year as they're moving closer to the NCAA tournament. What do you think about the Aztecs going into the big dance?
They're a very dangerous team because they defend, and as opposed to a lot of Steve Fisher's teams that were great defensively but offensively weren't really great shooters. These guys make 9 threes a game, so that makes them more dangerous. The problem for them right now is they need to win this to maybe get themselves out of that 8-9 spot in the tournament. Let's face it, if you're 8-9 and you get matched up with Gonzaga or Baylor in the second round, now Baylor lost today, no doubt, but those are 2 really good teams. I think there's a difference this year between the 1 seeds and then everybody after that. So getting out of that 8-9 game, I think, would be important if they can.
So maybe if they finish off this one tonight and win again tomorrow, depending on what goes on around the country, maybe they do get a 7 seed.
There's a chance.
Yeah.
Depending on the way things fall, there is a chance. I think right now they're a 9 or an 8 for sure.
They got to put this one away first. 71-63 with 3.5 to go.
Yeah, and this, like I said, very similar to those other games. Can't fool around. This Nevada team, they hang in there.
Mitchell with the shot clock at 3. Mitchell has to put it up, and he's fouled with the shot clock at 2.
Coleman played good defense until the very end of that play. I mean, they were going one-on-one, did a great job there of cutting him off, and then just invaded his space.
Trey Coleman commits his 4th foul with 3:09 to go.
Nice broom.
March Madness.
A broom or a mop. I don't know what. I'd say more mop.
I'd say more mop, like a Swiffer, I think they call it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I've seen some curling brooms in my day. That's not one. Coming up next, the Inside College basketball crew talks all things conference tournaments as they break down matchups, highlights, and projections as bracket week continues here on CBS Sports Network. And then we'll be back with the late one between Utah State and Colorado State. Should be a good one here in Las Vegas.
You are like a little bit of the curling king.
And then I decided to spend my time with you. Cambridge for 3. Pulliam is there again.
Yeah, they have not. Sherfield and Cambridge between them 8 for 27. Credit the San Diego State defense. They were well prepared on what they needed to do in this game.
Shot clock at 5. Mitchell one-on-one again with Coleman. Back out to Seiko. Shackle the offensive rebound.
And what does he do? Smart. Brings it right out. Instead of trying to take it up and score, knows the clock is his friend right now. Kill the clock.
Mitchell, tough shot, high arcing, and it won't go. Final 2 minutes. Cambridge. I guess that was a pass.
Yeah. Washington wasn't ready.
Coleman, that's a 3. Mensah had it, lost it. Sherfield is fouled by Shackle. Aztecs bench, Brian Dutcher, assistant David Velasquez, furious that Mensah didn't rebound that opportunity.
I thought David was going to kill him. He said, grab it!
And now you laugh. You were laughing when you were on the bench.
No, I wasn't laughing. I would have said the same thing.
Steve Alford calls timeout. Down by 8 with 1:33 to go. Semifinal number 1 on CBS Sports Network. getting started here in Vegas. We got another semifinal coming up approximately 12:30 Eastern time. Utah State, there's Craig Smith. He's got his coffee. He's ready to roll as the Aggies get set to take on the Rams of Colorado State. But still 1:33 to go here. And San Diego State trying to get back in the championship game for the 4th straight year.
You got a foul in that situation. Give it one crack.
Pulliam in double figures in consecutive games for the first time in his career. And Steve, when he is playing well and he's not just a distributor, he really makes them a bit of a different team out there.
Yeah,
he's done a lot more in these last 2 games than you're expecting to see.
I'll tell you, he's had a really good year. And this is a kid that last year played as a backup the whole season to Malachi Flynn. And, you know, Brian Dutcher had no hesitation in handing him the reins of the program, and he's really responded.
He was behind Flynn and KJ Fagan. It was hard for Pulliam to get time last year. Averaged only 3 points per game. He has made a big impact here in his senior season. Sherfield connects.
I mean, now all of a sudden it's a 6-point game because San Diego State missed 2 free throws there. I'm surprised Gomez isn't in the game because he's a tremendous free throw shooter.
And they like Seiko in there for defense.
You got a foul.
And they do. Aztecs just 61% from the line tonight. One more for Adam Seiko, the junior from Boston. Makes them both.
So much for having somebody else in the game. He made 2 free throws. He's a really good defender.
Sherfield tried to lob it to Washington, and a foul is called. It's a blocking foul on Mensah, and he's going to have to head out with his 5th foul. So Mensah finishes scoreless tonight.
He's had a rough tournament. He had 1 point yesterday.
Did not even attempt a shot tonight. And now Gomez will come back in.
This is about as small a team as San Diego State can put on the floor. When you see Matt Mitchell and Jordan Shackle on the inside of the free throw lane, I mean, if I'm Nevada, I'm putting a guy right there with Shackle. Get somebody on the lane.
I got 4.
Sherfield with 23 points tonight, but 5 of 14 from the floor.
Great step through of that double team there by Matt Mitchell.
And they get it in Gomez's
Got a
hands.
foul.
Very wise. Shackle's also an excellent free throw shooter, and he, before the foul, they're saying San Diego State called timeout. 37.4 on the clock. Well, Steve, if Nevada is not able to come back and their season ends here tonight, what do you think of the Wolfpack going into next year?
Yeah, I mean, they have everybody back. They're one of the younger teams in the country when it comes to experience, so they got a lot coming back. I really like what Steve Alford has been able to do. They were clearly the 5th best team in the league this year. And, you know, Zane Meeks was a big piece not playing in this game.
We talked about that, no question. He was their leading rebounder before the knee tendonitis has sidelined him for the last month.
I mean, they've got, I don't know, one of the best backcourts maybe in the country with Sherfield and Cambridge. So Washington's only a sophomore. Meeks, This team has a, Trey Coleman didn't play well tonight, but he's a pretty good freshman too.
They do not have a scholarship senior, so in theory, everyone will be back.
Even though the way things are nowadays,
it's hard to say that with a straight face. Pulliam tried to get it into Seiko, lost it, and it's Nevada ball.
Yeah, I think that they got to look at it though.
I think what we're going to see here is that Seiko thought he could save it from going out of bounds, but it hit the official right there.
Yeah, I think it was off Seiko. I think that's a good call. There's a foul there first. There's Seiko, hits his leg.
Yeah. On the floor, it was ruled Nevada ball. I would think it'd be hard to have enough evidence to overturn that.
I think that Seiko was upset that he got hacked, which clearly he did.
Pulliam also reached in late.
Yeah. .6 on the clock. It's amazing how tough these calls are. You know what I mean? Here we are, we have it on video, and it's not the easiest thing to decipher.
See, the point to that is, if it's not easy to decipher, just go with the call on the floor.
And do it quickly.
Yes.
If you have to look at it 10 times, I think the call on the floor stands. And I think this is where we get caught up sometimes in this stuff, and we forget about that. And I understand these guys, they want to get it right. I get that. But you made a call on the floor. It's hard to figure it out. Go with what happened on the floor. Nobody can debate it. This is what you don't want at the end of games. You know what I mean? Long, prolonged.
And we see it a lot lately.
Yeah.
It happens a lot.
I think that it wouldn't be a bad rule for all officials to say, if we got to look at this thing 5 times, whatever we call, we call. We're not going to look at it a 6th time.
It is Nevada ball. They trail by 7, and they have 1 timeout remaining.
And in this situation, obviously, if you get a good 3, that's the best thing. But you know what? A lot of times the best thing to do is take it to the basket quickly, because San Diego State's going to try not to foul. So a lot of times you can get an easy 2, ball timeout, and set up your defense. You're down 3 possessions anyway.
Washington and everyone at San Diego State wanted to travel.
Yeah, I think it was.
Even Washington's laughing about it. Watch his feet here.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Cambridge comes to get it. A quick 3, air ball, caught by Mitchell.
Good defense by Shackle that time.
And the foul with 20 to go. San Diego State on the verge of its 13th consecutive victory. The only 2 teams with longer active win streaks, Gonzaga, of course, and Prairie View A&M.
And in that streak, Andrew, as you know, except for the last 3 games, they were pounding people.
Well, yesterday against Wyoming was the first time during this win streak that they've been behind in the second half. Sherfield. And Steve Alford calls his final timeout. With 13.1 on the clock, it's a 6-point game.
Well, now it's just a matter of setting up that pressure, trying for a steal or 5-second count. Foul right away one more time and see what happens.
If San Diego State advances, you look ahead to the championship game. They did face Colorado State and Utah State this year. They split with Colorado State. You were there. Of course, the incredible comeback when the Rams were down 26, came back to win at Viejas, largest comeback in Mountain West history. And San Diego State lost both games in Logan against Utah State.
And the second game, Matt Mitchell didn't play. He got hurt in the first game.
Right.
I think relatively late, and then he didn't play in the next game. So, I mean, that doesn't, Utah State is a really good team, but obviously either matchup is going to be very compelling. Whoever they play tomorrow, if San Diego State finishes off, is going to be playing for their lives. So it'll be interesting.
And the 1 seeds have not fared well here in the Mountain West tournament. They've only won 4 times. And the last 1 seed to win the title was in 2017. It was Nevada.
Here's the full court pressure. Try and get a steal.
And a foul before they could get it in. Mitchell with 22 points tonight to go along with 8 rebounds.
A rope coming in for a little more defense. Supposed to come in after this, after the first foul, I guess. I think that's what Randy McCall's talking about.
He's taking him back out.
Yeah.
One shot. One.
7-point game, 10 seconds to go.
I would call this a workmanlike win for San Diego State.
2 seconds left. Washington up, no good. And the Aztecs are back in the Mountain West Tournament final. 4th straight year San Diego State advances to the championship game. They have now won 13 games in a row. Their last loss remains January 16th at Utah State. Let's update the bracket. San Diego State moving on to the championship game. 6 Eastern time tomorrow on CBS. We'll see you back here in a little bit for Utah State and Colorado State. But once again, our final score, the Aztecs win it 77-70. We're going to send you now back to our New York studio for Inside College Basketball Bracket Week, presented by Kubota. Adam and the crew standing by.